Hello and welcome to another episode of MoloMolo African Tech Stories. I'm Dr. PK and we are in the Alps, or the pre-Alps. In today's episode, you'll be joining me really to go. MoloMolo will be outside today. We are taking you along on an adventure. We'll be climbing one of the highest peaks here in Kochel. This is in Bavarian pre-Alps, and essentially we will be talking about system engineering and how does that relate to climbing a mountain, the peaks and the lows and the myths that goes with it. I hope you enjoy it. I think the one thing that I can definitely say from now on is for the rest of these next episodes in the summer, we will be going outside, we'll be having a lot of fun, and at the same time, hopefully we'll be learning about the things that we should be doing as opposed to the things that we are asked to do. I'm Dr. PK. Welcome to another episode of MoloMolo African Tech Stories. Let's go. So myth number one. Oftentimes, as system engineers, as engineers, we think about the quickest way to the summit. We think about, let me just start designing, let me start figuring out what does it mean to just get the design out. The chief engineer is on my case. The CEO has announced you have 6 months to get stuff done. Let me just start designing. But just like a mountain, there is no shortcut to the summit. You can't go too steep. I mean, look at me. I'm hardly breathing properly. I've just started. You can't go too steep. You've got to figure out what is it that I need to do. And it starts with requirements. It starts with sketching things down. Speaking to people. As engineers, we struggle to speak to people. Say, hey man, we got to design this thing. What do you think? What's your opinion? What's your past experience? We undervalue past experience. Past experience has past mistakes, has past triumphs, has past learnings. And we got to think that into consideration. I think oftentimes as we climb up, this thing is steep. Yay! As we climb up and trying to figure out the path towards where we need to go, it is something we have to take into consideration. First of all, it's got nothing to do with the quickest way to the top. Oftentimes, the quickest way to the top is the wrong way to begin with. So, you got to take a bit of time to catch a breath. Take a bit of time to look at the surroundings. Figure out, where are you? What's going on around you? What's happening? Plan. Take everything into consideration. The summit doesn't go away. It's not going away. But what you have in your possession is plans. What you have in your possessions is a pen, a notepad, a laptop, and you can write things down. Model things. Modeling is a good way of getting started. Start modeling. As engineers, we love, tools. Start using the tool to model. Put things down. Explain on your PowerPoint. What exactly did you mean? Don't be shy. Really think about it. But more importantly, speak to people. Figure out what is it that they need from you so that they can do their job a bit better. Number 2, system engineering, we think we can just live with TBDs, to be defined later. To be defined later is essentially meaning, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue who I need to ask this question to. So I'm just going to live with the TBD because it's inconsequential. That is the worst mistake one can make. Life, like a mountain, there's a trail right here, and you cannot assume that you'll just fix it later. Oops, I forgot my gear. It's okay, I'll fix it later. Oops, I forgot my compass or my medical kit. I'm sure it's fine, TBD, we'll fix it later. The key to having a proper system design is to at least put down what you think the plan should be, what you think the rationale for even having it here in the first place. Why do you have a requirement if it's TBD? Maybe a model with some empty structure could give more emphasis. But that's not the point. The point is you've got to think about it. You've got to figure it out. Right now, I was glad I packed a medical kit. I packed some pole sticks, although I might need it. Let's see. It's gonna get hiked up. And but yeah, I think so important this point. System engineering oftentimes is dismissed because it's just a document with a lot of TBDs that nobody reads or only needs when they're in trouble or when they think they don't really know what they're doing. And not so much a living document that everybody, every stakeholder, customer and developer and user takes into account and really makes it sure that we have as much as possible information within that document, within that model, as is needed at that particular phase. You're at the right side of the V. Everything's exciting, things are new, you're conceptualizing, you're having architectural design reviews, but just be mindful of the body language about leaving things be and let's see what happens in the future. And we don't yet know the answer, so let's not even bother about it. It's a very dangerous path, just like this one. Myth number 3 about system engineering. Can you see the mountain behind me, like the cliff face? Amazing. It's just about documentation. You know, you see a system engineer walk into a meeting, either with his laptop with just diagrams and diagrams and diagrams, or just paperwork, just full of paperwork. One of my previous jobs, the system engineer was still very archaic. He will bring a stack of papers, like as if he doesn't know what is needed for that meeting. And that can be dismissed as if that's the way. It's just documentation. It's just about documents and plans and SEMP, which is a system engineering management plan, or TEMP, test engineering management plan. I mean, but system engineering is so much more than that. And it's like comparing to a map. Right now, I will be lost. I mean, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'll be completely lost if I didn't have a map. And system engineering is that map. It's supposed to be a map. It's supposed to be a map that you use. It's supposed to be usable. The myth is that you can dismiss bad system engineering practices as if the discipline itself is not needed. And that is so far beyond what is possible. Now, another thing that should be said is that one thing that system engineering isn't is that it's just a way to document things and keep them in the drawer. That is something that one should be dismissive of, and that is something that one should be aware of. As soon as things just get documented for the sake of it, one is potentially not using system engineering to its full potential. Another myth about system engineering is that you've done all the work. You've done the conceptual design, you've talked to all the stakeholders, you've gotten the requirements, you've given a flow down of requirement to the subsystem engineers, and you've essentially got a plan that has been approved, and then you just park it. You just say, okay, well, let's see what happens. And you no longer measure. You no longer ask. You no longer track. You don't track as you're supposed to, as the way you were doing it before. And the biggest myth that can be related to climbing a mountain is you're so enthusiastic in the beginning, and then you stop doing the basics, which is use your pole stick. This pole stick here is saving my life. It's literally saving my life. As you can see, I'm roughly 1,100 meters above ground or above sea level, I think. Not too sure what reference they're using, but as you can see where I am, this is the town that I'm down there, and this is how steep everything is. Crazy, right? And but this, you still need to measure, you still need to figure things out, you still need to ask yourself the question, am I going the right way? Should I keep going? Don't just go and see what happens. It's great, it's good to have a gut feel, it's good to have a sense of kind of engineering freedom, but at the same time, freedom does not give you quality product. Process gives you a quality product. And process in system engineering requires you to track, it requires you to measure, requires you to pivot when things are not working and non-conforming, and so that you can take evasive actions or corrective actions. It's incredibly important for when you think about a quality management system that it is correctly modeled, a system engineering management system that is correctly modeled, so that you're able to have a good gauge of where you're going. I've worked in so many companies where you just don't have a sense that once it's approved, once the project is rolling, that everything is now just, let's see what happens. And that's where projects fail. That's where oftentimes the most pedantic system engineer, the one that's on your case, is actually the one that's going to make the system work and everybody, following the same beat. And that's what's needed. Engineering freedom within structure is what's needed. And that structure is system engineering principles that continuously check, measure, and ensure that things are implemented as specified. It is incredibly difficult to do, to be that person, to always be the one that checks. You have to wake up with the right mindset every single day to do your job, to do it to the correct standard, to do it with a smile on your face, to do it without a blame culture, to do it with the objective in mind and not people's failures in mind. But yet you still have to do it. And yet system engineering, when done wrong, is dismissed because essentially seen as a paper exercise that just gets the project approved and then let the engineers do whatever they want to do. So another myth that should be said, and you've reached some form of a top. You've allowed yourself to get good. And check at this. You're not yet at the top, but you've allowed yourself to get good. You're very happy with yourself. And you think system engineering now just needs technology, I just need my GPS and my apps and I'm good to go. But you forget that the reason why you got here is because of the hard work of climbing. And you're not done yet. You still need to climb, still need to get it going. And that's something that one needs to remember, is the only thing that technology helps is to amplify your effort, not replace it. Don't let technology bring about a loss of this and think that technology will keep you up here. And the only thing that really is needed is for you to just remember, technology is not here to save you. Technology is here to amplify you. Another thought came to mind because, when I thought about technology, I thought, why is it that we are so quick to use apps and essentially just want to just code and AI and we forget the human element when it comes to creativity, when it comes to this. This is not AI. This is real. This is dangerous. This is exhilarating. This took a lot of effort, human effort. Yeah, you could use a robot to get you up here, but would you experience the same feelings, the same sensation within your heart and your mind of what it took so that you can take those same feelings and apply it to your day-to-day job, your day-to-day business? That's the key of system engineering. The key is to go through the grunt so that you may appreciate the path and you may appreciate the midway point. We're not there yet. The point is, you're not there yet. There's still a lot to do. There's still a lot to see, a lot to appreciate, a lot to just be thankful for, but also a lot to work on. System engineering is giving you that path to say, you've got the tools, now do the reps. Don't let technology take away the effort. Don't let technology take away the need to learn and to appreciate and to speak and to discuss and to rework and to figure out what is the best path towards appreciating the end product. Allow yourself to not let technology take over the very thing that makes you special as a system engineer, as an engineer. Don't allow technology to take that away from you, but allow technology to amplify, to allow you to create and to do what you do best, which is think, be curious, and do the reps so you can enjoy the journey and eventually the end product. The one thing that you don't really plan for is how much system engineering, just like climbing a mountain, is a mental game. Here I am, just surrounded by mountains, as you can see. Amazing view. The climb is still ahead of me, but really I am tired, but it's more like the lonely road of a system engineer, the lonely road of climbing that mountain where there's success, the principle works. It's just sometimes you have to walk it alone. You have to give it your best shot, step by step. Use whatever you have and just keep climbing, keep doing, keep churning away. On a personal note, I think it's so difficult to run a business by yourself. It's so difficult to be the judge and juror of every decision you make. But at the same time, it is what it is. You want the summit, oftentimes you gotta go alone. But don't let that deter you. System engineering works. System engineering is the way it's supposed to be. And don't let that deter you. Systems is what businesses need, what engineers need. And we just have to keep on going, even though sometimes it's all alone. So you've made it to the top. 1,500 meters above ground, above sea level. I'm not too sure which one it is. It was tough. As a system engineer, you've had late nights, early mornings, defeats, highs, lows, and yet you don't realize just how far you are still to go. There's a very interesting statistics that half of the accidents on a hiking trip is on the way down. It's not on the way up. It's when you think you've achieved, when you think you've reached the top, and all of a sudden you let your guard down. You forget there's the deployment, there's the maintenance, there's the serviceability of your product, there is the after sales of your product. That is still system engineering. Still requires some level of measurement, some level of tracking, some level of keeping things going, keeping things the way they're supposed to be, the way that you've planned them to be. It's not something that you can say, yeah, let's see what happens. You've reached the top, well done. A lot of us have reached our top for many ways, whether you got married. This is really about life, really. But system engineering is the topic. It's not enough. I always tell my wife, I always joke around that, being married is like a wedding is like an anticlimax. You took such effort to get there, and then you wake up the next day to just another person that you now have to live in harmony for the rest of your life. It is an anticlimax. It's the downhill from the top, from the peak. And the one thing that can be said for sure is that you've got to keep going. Well done. Good job. 1,500 meters. It's my first attempt, I think. Yeah, so I decided let me go big, and amazing view. I mean, just have a look. Ridiculous view of the pre-Alps. We're not yet in the Alps yet, but this is definitely the kind of the start mountain range of the Alps. And yeah, and it's just one of those things we just realize life is amazing, life is great. Keep going, keep fighting, keep trying, but you're not done yet. You're nowhere near done. On MoloMolo Tech, we offer system engineering, model-based system engineering services. We try and bring a sense of self-awareness that goes with it, but at the same time, realizing that the work is still far ahead of us. This is Dr. PK again for another episode of MoloMolo African Tech Stories. I hope you enjoyed this time. Until next time, bye.